Hello YouTube and welcome to Neill's World, where I'll be discussing my journey to financial freedom. Today I'm going to talk about the plan and the one I'm implementing in order to support my goal of achieving financial freedom. The first thing I did was to create an expense list. The detail of this, I laid out all of my family's financial expenses, and to our surprise, we had a few areas where we were paying double for the same thing, so we managed to cancel those and save a few pennies in our pockets. My insurance company offers us the opportunity to gain access to other platforms, given that we achieve a set number of points weekly, and we do that easily like breathing, so we were happy with that. We were then able to move on to the income list, where we wrote out all the money coming in to the family, and to our attention, we were surprised by this, and we were quite happy because we saw how much we were actually making each month. But then obviously it made us realize that we were overspending, so we were able to cut back, and with everything laid out, we knew how much we'll have to invest, how much we'll have to put in towards our emergency fund, and how much we'll have to put towards debt, because we need an emergency fund. That's gonna allow us, in case life happens, we can fall back onto that and not take on more debt to get through it like a payday loan. The first target, we laid out all of our, call it, debt that we had, and we went in size order. We wrote to the bank, and we called the bank as well, and we asked for a settlement notice. This gave us an idea of how much we pay today. It would allow us to clear it off. We put those down, and then we work towards paying off each of those debts on a monthly basis, and even weekly as well within our plan. The next thing I want to talk about is discipline. As defined by the Oxford Dictionary, this is the practice or training of people to obey rules or a code of behavior, and using punishment to correct disobedience. Now that we've got that cleared, and you understand what discipline means, and that if we lack it, we will be punished, you'll be thinking to yourself, wait, who's going to punish me? Well, to your surprise, life will punish you. If you don't look after your health, then you'll be punished with poor health, and that's hard. If you don't look after your finances, then you'll be living below the breadline. You'll be punished with poverty, and no one wants to be in poverty. You can see everyone is feeling the pinch now that inflation went up by 10%. So if we take this now and understand that every action we do now will be having consequences for that, then we will do right by ourselves. We also created a realistic spending plan as a family. And this, I know it's a plan within a plan, but this realistic spending plan was created in line with inflation and the fact that life happens. So we laid everything out, and we made sure that we had more than enough money in it, so that we have no need to spend more than this amount. And if we're spending in above what we've laid out here, that means we deserve to be in poverty, because we can't sacrifice a few now that we got time in order to achieve a better tomorrow. And while we aren't promised tomorrow, we may live to see it. So what if we live to see it, and our kids will live to see it? We need to ensure that their future is better than what we've got now, because the reality is no one is going to do it for us unless we do it for ourselves. Secondly, we moved on to our debt payment plan. As mentioned before, the aim of all of this is to clear debt in the first place. So with the plan in place, I'll be able to now deduct time to pay off the debt, and then each debt being paid off from the smallest, we'll add that extra money that we were paying as a whole onto that debt, plus the extra I was paying to top it up, add it all together and put it towards the next debt. And I'll keep doing that all the way through until the debts are cleared. And you'll realize that the more the debts are cleared, the more motivated you'll become. And the more motivated you become, the more disciplined you'll be. And in saying discipline again, discipline as a definition I gave earlier on from the Oxford Dictionary, you realize it mentioned two main areas: rules and code of conduct. And you'll see rules and code of conduct in your workplace, in society, and even in your business if you're an entrepreneur. So why not have the same thing in our lives? If you look at the game of football or chess, they've got rules and boundaries and things that you have to do in order to achieve certain things. So why not in our lives? Why should we not have boundaries in our lives? Especially in finance, we need to say no to ourselves unless it's obviously of importance. And no, having a day to go and spend as you wish irresponsibly isn't a good idea. So that's not a no. An emergency is if it's mandatory if you do it, because this will aid you on your journey. And speaking of that, the psychology of money. And this is where we self-analyze, seeking to understand our behavior with money. And having knowledge of money is not going to be enough to give us success, because the behavior with money is more crucial. And this is why lottery winners go back to being broke within a year of winning the lottery. It's because though they have a massive financial turnout or a windfall, they have not changed their relationship with money. They still have a poor relationship with money. So they go back into their old ways. So what I'm doing on this journey it will impact myself and my kids' future. So we have to change the culture. Thus, the relationship with money needs to change. And this is done through education. So when my children get money, I don't say, what you're going to spend it on. They have the option. You can save your money. You can either try and put it in your ISA, or you'll be able to go forward and spend this money right now. But I do remind them, your actions today will greatly impact you tomorrow, because every action has a consequence. I know that sounds really harsh as a parent to your child, but the earlier they get an understanding of this, the better it will be for them. Because I don't want my kids to be looking after me in my old age. You know, that thing you grew up hearing, or your children is your pension. No. Don't be irresponsible now in your youth while you have time, and then expect your kids to look after you, because they'll have things to do as well. And by saying that, we know that time is a scarce commodity, and we sell our time for money. And then when we get that money, instead of investing that money to allow that money to work for us, what we do is we squander that money, thus wasting our time, and the cycle continues. We have to try and change our relationship with money, and by analyzing ourselves and see where it stems from and what we're doing incorrectly, we can fix that situation. Analysis of yourself is key going forward. You can also increase your knowledge of finance by, like what I did, I spoke to an accountant. I called up several financial advisors, and I managed to get a session for free, an hour, just to talk and see where I was and what I was doing. And I sat down and made sure I had the right questions to ask, so I get the right answers in that hour. But it's good to have a financial advisor on hand, and then whenever you can do it, 2 or 3 times per year, go in and speak to them as you're making changes. Because as your finances change, you get a windfall of money, you'll have stuff to do. So before you do that, make sure you have a plan of what you want to do next. There are several books I've read as well that will help me. I read like Rich Dad and Poor Dad. I read The Alchemist by Paulo Cuelho. I read The Richest Man in Babylon. I'll post these also in the description. I also read Think and Grow Rich, and the book called Power versus Force. These all played a part in me moving forward financially, and as well as speaking to the professionals, the accountant, the financial advisors. Just like when you're going to buy a house, you speak to a mortgage advisor, or you approach your bank and speak to them. It's the same way. You've got to invest the time and effort for your tomorrow, because the reality of all of this is no one is going to do it for you. You can see now you've slaving away and you're paying into a pension pot, but your government can't guarantee that you're going to get your pension at 65, because they've changed the year now to 70. So by the time you get to 67, who's to say that the pension age hasn't gone to 75 or 80? Will you ever get that money? So you need to prepare yourself now so you don't rob yourself of a future of success, of wealth, of freedom. So you can get up and decide to go on a holiday. You can get up and decide, okay, then I don't want to work tomorrow. I want to call it quits because I'm set. If you don't do this for yourself, you will not be able to live above the breadline. And you want to have that future where you're secured. You have everything stacked, and that's starting by planning and preparing yourself today. Now we have the time. Now we can implement that. That's all I'm going to cover for this week. I hope you enjoyed the session. And if you haven't yet gone through and watched the video I posted last week, please go ahead and watch. Please go in the comment section and leave a comment. Also, you need to ensure that you remain disciplined. If you haven't learned anything from today, take away discipline. That's the main key. My journey continues. See you guys in the next one. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Go to the comment section and please light it up. Leave a nice comment. Let me know what topics you'd like to hear from me next week, and leave a thumbs up for us as well. It's to help the algorithm. Thank you.